G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Liberty to watch two of the world's best players face off against one another. Spawning in over on the east side of the map in the color green, playing as the Chinese. It's 194, the Great Unicom. Now this guy is currently ranked, I think at about rank 50, rank 60, somewhere in that region. He's got a couple of accounts. There's 194 the Great, or 194 the Goat, 194 the Great Unicom. I thought he was very close to being a unicorn, but not quite. It's not worth that much. Speaking of someone who's worth a little bit more, though, on the west side of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the Rus. No, it's not a laser, though you would be fooled for thinking that it was. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Beastie Cutie. He is undercover today. He's doing a little bit of a meme. I don't know what the current meme is of the day. I haven't watched Beastie's stream today, so I don't know what the go is, but it appears he's having a little bit of fun with a laser. He's making a little bit of a joke. Anyway, we got him on. Can you guys hear the plane? There's a plane flying overhead at the moment. Anyway, I got my door open. It's nice weather out here this morning, so I figured, you know what, we'll open up the door. And speaking of opening up the door, how about we open up a little bit of an image? How's this one for you? Which choice will you make? Oh yeah, baby, give it to me. The Knights Templar, Castle Age. Number 1, the Angevin Empire. Fortresses and docks gain 30% health. Okay, all right. I see it. I see the vision. B, Republic of Genoa. Pilgrims generate 30% more gold. Okay, I'm liking it. But what I really like is this. C, the Kingdom of Castile. Units near sacred sites gain 20% damage and regenerate health. Dude, that is wild. All right, well, I already know what I'm picking for the Castle Age. I'm a Castile main, if you're unaware. But you got to remember that it's not just the bonuses that you're getting from these civilizations. It's also going to be the units that you're unlocking. There's a whole suite of stuff that you're going to be getting with each age up that you take for the Knights Templar. And look, this is only one of those things that you're going to have to consider. But there is some good information that we've received just from this little thing that's come up. So this was posted, I think, about 2 or 3 hours ago now. On the Twitter page for Age of Empires 4. It's not just some random guy who's just putting together these images and like throwing together a whole bunch of weird bonuses. No, it's not. But what do we know if we take a look at this? Well, first and foremost, we know that fortresses and docks have got health. So they're not immune to damage. That's the first thing that we know. Second thing that we know is that pilgrims generate gold, or at least it says they generate 30% gold, which means they have to have a baseline of something. So they are generating gold. We did see them on the sacred sites. They were performing some sort of action. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but we know that they are generating gold, and you can now generate more gold. So I think the theme of this is definitely going to be very much about controlling the sacred sites, and we know that because if you take a look at that last one, it is that units near sacred sites gain 20% damage and regenerate health. Now, if you're thinking like I am, there's a good chance you've already put 2 and 2 together and gone, okay, well, hold on a minute. I can take the first bonus, because they had the first bonus in Feudal Age, A, B, and C. C, it gave 10% extra damage. And so now I'm getting that extra 10% damage, and I'm also stacking it with the Kingdom of Castile. So now I've got 30% damage when I'm near a sacred site, and I'm regenning health. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Like that's kind of crazy when you think about it, that much extra damage. But I mean, to be fair, there is precedent for it. If you take a look at the English Knights are considered to be the best in the game by many, just simply because of the attack speed bonus that they get. They get a huge amount of extra attack speed, and that alone is what propels them to being the best knight. Whether it's the best or not, I think it's if you stacked up all the knights and got them into a fight, the English knight is the one that wins. That's essentially how you get to that. But you know, whether they're actually the best or not, you know, maybe not. Anyway, that's our little bit of update. I'm kind of curious how you feel about it. Which one are you going to be going for? I think for me, it's definitely got to be B or C. Though I can see a world where A makes a little bit more sense. Now, another thing to know, I did see some people, I don't know whether this was on YouTube comments. No, I think it was on YouTube comments. Basically, people saying, when it comes to the fortresses that they've got, there's a good chance that they actually could be the age ups. It's just that their age ups are fortresses, basically. And so you don't really get much choice when it comes to your landmarks. You're just quite literally like, I'm gonna put down my landmark. It's a fortress. Here's my next landmark. It's another fortress. I was like, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. So that could be another potential mechanic. But let's talk a little bit less about the DLC. No, you know what? We're going to talk more about the DLC. Nah. Well, let's talk a little bit about this game. Look what we've got coming through. On one side, on the other side, 3 scouts here, 1 scout here. No stable just yet. It's going to be coming down shortly, though. There's plenty of vills here, and there is that stable. Already the Imperial official on standby, ready to give a little bit of supervision here, but we have got ourselves a lovely little economy. And let's talk about this matchup. I always had trouble with this matchup growing up as a kid. It's not a fun one, just mainly because the Rus have got access to the Knight in the Second Age, and typically you don't want to be playing against them when they're in the Second Age. It makes it difficult. So I'm curious to see exactly what the Great Unicorn, we're going to be calling him the Great Unicorn today, not the Great Unicom. I'm curious to see what the Great Unicorn will be able to bring to the table today, especially considering he is going up against Beastie. We've got ourselves a little bit of Scout on Horseman and Scout action. I love the fact that he went for a Horseman here out of everything. The Horseman makes a lot of sense because the Scouts don't get bonus damage against them. It's going to take some time to actually take down the Scouts, but you can see just how well Beastie's doing here already with this Grand Theft Venison. More Scouts moving towards the north. At the moment, he's just got those hunting cabins. So 2 hunting cabins just pumping. Looks like he's probably going to be going for a fast castle here. It makes the most sense. But Scout number 1 might be going down. You can see he's doing a wonderful job on stealing away this venison. And the first Scout almost certainly going to be going down right here. He should be able to get everything back, and you can hear units are being trained up behind the scenes, but I suspect it's probably just going to be some more and more Scouts. And now looking to take out the second one after the first one has fallen. We're right on board with the Great Unicorn and see how he's doing over towards this east side. The Vills are moving out. Probably going to be a Barbican. Indeed, it is a Barbican into a mine. Oh, my lord, have we got a 2TC play? Have we got a 2TC play? This is kind of wild. This is not something that you see very often with the Chinese anymore. Recently, it has just become about the man who stays on 1TC the longest wins, which is kind of a weird way to say it. But anyway, the 1TC meta is well and truly alive in Age of Empires 4 currently. And this is curious because we've got someone who's playing a little bit outside the box, and you're doing it against none other than Beastie. And that is a scary thought. So good luck to the Great Unicorn. We talked earlier about the fact that it would be curious to see exactly how he looks to play this, and he's definitely going to be putting the ball in Beastie's court, because when it comes to the way that these civilizations stack up, the Chinese are very quickly going to outscale and outpace the Rus. So the expectation here is that Beastie will go up to Castle Age. He'll look to collect relics. He'll utilize the food that he's picked up from professional scouts safely underneath the town center, and he should be able to transition into a pretty solid mid-game. The question is going to be about which unit comp he looks to go into. Ideally, you'd be looking to go into Knights, but you do need to be cautious against the Chinese, because they do very well with their crossbow spearman combo, mainly because they've got access to the nest of bees. So they feel very incentivized to go crossbow and spearman, and Knights don't do terribly well against that. But I think they're a strong opener. But we do have the trade house coming in right now. Not the best high trade house that we've ever seen, but it still gets a decent chunk of change here. More units coming through. The Great Unicorn going to try and pick off a couple of scouts. There's 2 more on the way back here. You can see he's actually doing a wonderful job blocking this scout here. As more and more scouts come in, he manages to get the block off, and there's the first scout down, picks off the venison, lets the second one head back because he knows that there's another one on the way through. In fact, there's another 2 on the way through right now. So he'll be looking to try and clean it up. And let's see, he does manage to pass it onto the second scout. Beastie with the high-level plays. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that. The venison jiggle. That's what they call it. Look, what's going on here? He's going to try and pick it up. There we go. They're racing for it, dude. That's hilarious. I think that's the first time we've ever witnessed that. Oh, wow. We are seeing something beautiful today. Anyway. Welcome. It is a pleasure to have your company. Archery range? I don't like archery ranges. I do. Oh, no, this is a mistake. This is... I've played this matchup enough to know that the archery range is not a smart play right now. So look, I hope I'm wrong. If he goes into archers, it's the right call. If he goes into horse archers, it's not the right call. I'll say that right now, okay? What's it going to be, Beastie? If it's archers, oh, yeah, this is dangerous. The reason why this is dangerous is because Zhuge absolutely shred horse archers. Like, it is nobody's business. They destroy them. Absolutely melt them. I've won so many games where, oh my lord, that's a second TC. That's a third TC. Oh, against Beastie of all people. Oh, you are one crazy man, Great Unicorn. You are one great unicorn. We'll say that right now. Yeah, I think typically... this is dangerous from the side of Beastie, mainly because the Zhuge are incredibly powerful. You have to respect them, and especially with an unarmored unit. I think if he mixes in men-at-arms, it could make a little bit more sense, because then the Zhukunu at least... Because the reason why Horse Archer lose to the Zhukunu is because the Zhukunu can just go attack move, and you kill like 6 Horse Archers on a single attack move. It's just... Like, if you look at the health pool here, you're talking about 85 health, so divide that by 3. You're talking about a little bit over 25. It's not much damage, realistically, that you need to actually do to get them taken out. It's a very, very quick elimination, let's put it that way. But so far, so good. It seems pretty even Stevens here, and I love that we've got 2 very different strategies. The first one is going to be focused on picking up relics, looking to secure early tempo. Probably not going to be looking for a fast Imperial, at least not a super fast Imperial Age. Just trying to control the map. We do start to see those Zhukunu coming out now. Keep in mind that the range difference between these two, you've got 4.5 tiles on the Horse Archer, and compare that to the Zhukunu who's over here with 4.5 tiles as well. So it's a non-existent range difference at the moment, but just keep in mind that will change as we move into the Imperial Age. They get that extra little bit of range, and that can make all the difference. But in the early stages of the game, the key thing to remember here is just the Horse Archers need something in the front to tank. They've got no armor, and it's not a pretty sight, we'll say that much, at least for the Roost player. Let's ride on board with the Great Unicorn. Walls have come up towards the north side. Triple TC still pumping, and I actually like this a lot. I think this is super smart. He's playing into this incredibly well, and I'm gonna say right now, I feel like I'm kind of watching myself play, because I used to play a very similar strat to this. So you can do 2 TC into a lot of units in feudal, or you can go 3 TC into a lot of units in feudal. I always felt like this was a lot more dangerous, but against the fast castle, it makes a lot of sense. But this was something I always enjoyed playing. So watching Great Unicorn right now, and the burst of economy we're about to witness is exciting. Now, one thing that I'm hoping that he looks to do is start walling up towards the back here. He's got the back gold, and he's got plenty of space here for granaries. And I'm sure he knows that, and I'm sure he sees that. And so naturally, that's where he's going to be looking to put these granaries down. So securing this up is going to make a lot of sense, but we're in for a good game here. I can already tell you right now, this is starting, I'm setting the stage for you immediately. This is going to be a banger of a game. Plenty of production starting to come up for him as well. We're on double racks, 6 archery ranges, and a single stable. Meanwhile, we do hear sacred sites being taken, being neutralized, no, being turned over, being captured. Let's go with captured, probably makes a bit more sense. And now Beastie, towards the south of the Chinese base, begins to make his way around the corner. It's a very awkwardly placed sacred site. I don't think you're going to be able to decap it from down here. You're going to have to get units up, which make it very good if Beastie were to come along and put a keep up here. This could be a very difficult to deal with keep. Horse Archer numbers continue to climb. He's on 23 at the moment, still adding more in. We'll switch it over to income per minute. He's on 4 relics. The 5th and final relic is in the middle of the map, so almost certainly he'll be confirming this relic right now. Horse Archers, once again, on the backside. Scout goes down, and now the Great Unicorn is going to look to try and focus these units down, and you'll watch how quickly he's able to do it. You've got to be so careful fighting with these Horse Archers. Beastie's going to dabble a little bit here, but the Zhukunu just get off huge value, and you can see how fast they're able to melt them down. It feels incredible. It feels incredible. Oh, no. He's got a flanking batch. Please get off my screen. Neutralize sacred site message. Thank you. The flanking batch around the back. Beastie in trouble. The spears move to the outside. They say, no, 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 no. You ain't going anywhere. He's trying to head up towards the top side. We saw the Zhukunu turn around, flanking towards that gold vein. And now up towards the top side. Beastie tries to get through. Is he going to be able to do it? There's more spears. There's more Zhukunu. Oh, Great Unicorn is having an absolutely wonderful game. $1 billion game even, as he clears out all of these troops. And you can see why right now I got excited, but I also got a little bit concerned when I saw Beastie going for that many Horse Archers. It's one of those things where you have to be incredibly careful. And even though Beastie was very careful here, as the first villager goes down, we were still able to see the Great Unicorn pull off some great micro today. More Zhukunu rising to the occasion. He's got 48 out at the moment. A huge amount of Zhukunu. And he's still under the town center, by the way. Has he picked up any additional food sources? He hasn't even come out yet. Oh my god, I just realized. We got ourselves a little bit of a berry situation here. Very good situation down here. We've also got another double patch over here. What are with these double patches of berries? I'm not complaining. I'm impressed. I'm not even mad. Is this... Hold on. Are these look like they're flipped, dude. Like the small, yeah, they're almost flipped. This is a good game so far, because I mean, whenever you watch a Beastie game, you got to remember Beastie's always the favorite to win a game going into it. So whenever you're casting a Beastie game, to see him down is always exciting, because it means there's a good chance he's probably going to come back, and that's what we're here for. We want to see how Beastie manages to come back from this, because undoubtedly he will look to turn the tables. The question's going to be about how. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. We could potentially see a mango. I'd love to see whether there's a siege workshop down right now. Doesn't look like it, but in this position, up against the Jukunu, mangonels can be very, very strong. Just because there's so many damn Jukunu, it can be really hard to micro against them. Vil's going to get caught out here. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. More and more Jukunu running through, and you could see, yeah, now this is the trouble. This is the trouble. You've reached critical mass where you can two-shot those men-at-arms out. This is where it gets really difficult, and Beastie's going to have to head back to the drawing board on how he looks to defend this. He's going to try with a couple of units on the backside. We can see all of the Jukunu just melting through these ranged units, and now he's in real trouble. The Great Unicorn is indeed quite great. Double the villager count at the moment. And keep in mind, while Beastie has the 5 relics, that Vil count is going to be significantly greater than what Beastie's got. He's got decent kiting down towards the south side. A couple of men-at-arms going to make their way through. And as long as Great Unicorn isn't paying attention, Beastie should be able to wear this down slowly. There are there are fights that are happening on the other side of the map. Look at the units rallying, though. Look at the amount of units rallying across the map right now. I feel like I'm looking at a mini-map where there's the Terran, and they're just rallying their Marines across the map. There is that many little units that are coming out. Meanwhile, we do have villagers going down on both sides. Sacred Site is going to get capped, rather neutralized, and the Jukunu able to really punish here. Beastie feels like he's on a knife's edge. Only a handful of units here remaining. I think the two ways that I'd look to deal with this would be Springwood emplacement on the outpost or on the wooden fortress, and mangonels. The mangonels will do okay as long as you've got men-at-arms to back them up and some vills to repair. You'll be fine. That's the primary factor. But now towards that south side, the Jukunu number has begun to fall. There's still plenty of units in here, though. Vil's down towards the south side. He's got walls up absolutely everywhere. Have a look at this Beastie, fully walled in down towards that south. Oh my lord, this man does not want to be found down here. What is it that's going on down here? It feels like a little bit of FFA. And now towards the front of the base, we have the first of the battering rams beginning construction. We'll check in over on that east side, and we'll see how the Great Unicorn is doing. He's got some very strong coverage out here. First of the rams is completed. More Jukunu. It looks like he's just doubling down. He's going absolutely ham, and I think he 100% can. We've got the granaries now starting to come up in the back of the base. He's got some good space back here. He's also now put down the lumber camp, which means he can begin transitioning with a granary right here. And then you can start adding farms around that one as well. Always feels really good to be doing that, having them transition across. First of the monastery is going to be going down here. Keep in mind, the Jukunu have got quite decent siege damage as well. They've got triple attacks that are helping out siege this down. And he's able to take it down just shy of the 18-minute mark. All 3 relics out. Just keep in mind, they're still safe at the moment. Great Unicorn is still in the Feudal Age, and Beastie's in a bit of a tough spot here. The triple town center start for the Great Unicorn has definitely taken some people by surprise, myself included. I didn't expect this much tempo coming out from them. But the first of the mangoes is now out. Beastie's trying to look to hold. He's got the men-at-arms there ready to roll. Astronomical Clock Tower now going to come through. And this is where it gets really dangerous, because from the perspective of Great Unicorn, he can scale to Imperial Age. Honestly, you can, instead of... Oh, wait. Look how fast he's aging up. 24 vils on the age up. That's like a 7-second age up right there. Look at that thing go. The truth is, he could have just kept like 3 or 4 and then just gone straight to Imperial. Because you got to remember that when the way that Jukunu's power spike are at Imperial Age, you think that they're strong in Feudal or Castle? My friend, you wait until they hit Imperial. That's when the real trouble begins. Because their damage numbers start to get high that they can overcome armor. Because at the moment, if we take a look at the armor, you've got 6 armor up against 5 attack. And that'll become 7 attack eventually, but you're still doing the same amount of damage. Even with veterancy, even with +2, it's still going to be the same amount of damage. Even though the number goes up, it's still effectively the same amount of damage. But men-at-arm numbers have now built. So I think from this perspective, Great Unicorn probably going to have to move into crossbow, maybe Palace Guard. We haven't seen any real cavalry out, so no real need for spearmen at this stage, and we can see all the amount of Raxes he's got here. But this is definitely playing into the hands of the Great Unicorn. Have a look at the vil difference as well. 131 to 52. He is 2.5xing him. Like, not even 2xing. Look at this. Look at the little notches at the top. The notch means a 2x. That's a 2.5x right there. oh, that's scary. That's really scary. All right, a couple more units going to go down here. Military numbers starting to even out. How does Beastie go about getting back into this game? I think number one, he's going to drop a second TC, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Absolutely the right call. He has most likely scouted out the triple TC from his opponent, so he is probably a little bit curious how he managed to do this. To be honest, I think it all just goes back to the fact that Beastie got caught, right? Like, over towards this east side, Beastie got caught out of position. It was probably not the smartest decision to go into horse archers. I would have said just go into knights. Knights just made so much more sense in this situation, especially in this matchup. So I find it curious that he didn't go knights in the first place, but maybe he's just looking to play with his food. You know, sometimes we do see these high-level players look to try and test the limits, not always play the most conventional, because, you know, even me, keep in mind, I'm a Conqueror 3 player, but compared to Beastie, I'm a Gold 1. So even for me as a Gold 1, I'm a Conqueror 3, but just so you know, I'm a Gold 1 player compared to Beastie, and even I know, like, okay, you want to avoid Horse Archer in this matchup, not the strongest. I think it's decent to open. Like, you can 100% open with them as long as you don't get caught, and I guess that's the trouble, right? He got caught, so it makes it so much more difficult to justify it. Anyway, Sacred Site's now going to start being decapped and recapped, and we've got to be careful of our letters. We're a couple letters away from a slur right there, so we'll do our best to avoid that. Man at arms doing a bit of damage. So right now is a perfect window, I think, for either player to go imp here. I think both players can 100% go imp, especially Great Unicorn. Like, he's at this point, he is maxed. So he's got 195 out of 200 population. He's got units in queue. There's no reason not to be going imp here. That is how the Chinese play, right? When you think about it from the perspective of the Chinese, that's what you want. You want to be going Imperial. You get a lot of power from Imperial Age. Even though your nested bees aren't as strong in the Imperial Age as they are in the Castle Age, it's not like you've really got the population space to add more in. He's already got the 3 out for the moment, so it just kind of makes sense to save, go imp, get your upgrades, and then look to force it down mid. I think that's probably going to be the best play for him. Keeps now coming towards the north side of the map. We're right on board with Beastie as he looks to defend in this game. Interesting position on the keep. There's no gold here that's protecting either. I mean, he doesn't really need to protect gold, right? He's playing the Rus. He's got a lot of free gold. But now Palace Guard's going to move forward. Crossbows and men-at-arms on the backside. Defend all Sacred Site message once again popping up in the middle of battle. I'd love for it to get off my screen. Thank you very much. There'll be another one coming up soon saying neutralize Sacred Site. Mangoes get decent shots off. Raining in fire. Spirit Way going to be coming up behind it. Decent shots on the Mangoes. Beautiful connections. Manages to make a solid case for the Mangonel right here, forcing them back away from that front line, and now the men-at-arms easily able to defeat the Palace Guards. Spirit Way going to be coming up behind this. No Great Wall Gatehouse, no stone walls back at home, and that's going to mean Beastie can now run it down mid. We were wondering how he was going to do it, and that is the answer to your question. The Mangonels force back the crossbows. The crossbows aren't able to deal with the men-at-arms, and because of that, the men-at-arms do defeat the Palace Guards in hand-to-hand combat. They do have slightly better stats. They've got a little bit more armor, and that might not seem like a lot, but when you don't have a lot of attack, having a slight armor advantage can be quite significant. A higher percentage of your damage is coming through. Upgrades are now on the way. We're looking at ancient techniques coming through instead of elite upgrades. And I mean, realistically, there's a little bit of trouble right now for the Chinese. Palace Guards are heading out on a route. Looks like he's heading up towards the top side. A couple of units up here. He knows about the existence of this position, looking to challenge the Sacred Site, and that's probably going to explain a little bit more why Beastie opted to put the keep on this Sacred Site. He just wants to protect it. He thinks he can actually go for a Sacred Site victory, and the push is going to continue coming up. He's got to be very careful, though. This is where, like, this right here is where the Chinese are at the most powerful. Palace Guards, Imperial Age, battle-hardened upgrade on the way through, elite Palace Guards coming through, +1 melee attack coming through. All of these upgrades are going to be affecting the Palace Guards, and there's so many ways that you can look to play this as the Chinese. I mean, realistically, the world is your oyster. You've got this many villages, you've got so many different... Why was that Imperial official still on the barracks at this stage? I'm going to hope that he was on the barracks, but I don't think he was. All right, hand cannoneers coming out as well. Looks like he's already picked up. No, he hasn't actually picked up the extra range just yet. We didn't miss it. There's the elite palace guards now coming through. They're going to have plenty more damage in the back pocket, a little bit of extra health as well with the battle-hardened upgrade. And now the crossbows on the backside. He doesn't even mind if he takes damage here. You can see he's just eating the mango shots to the face. He doesn't care. He knows that the palace guards are going to be more than capable of holding this play. So he's absolutely able to take the mango shots to the face. Meanwhile, towards the top, we do have a bit of a counterattack. Beastie going to be going Imperial Age. High Armory also coming up as well. And Imperial Palace with 35 villagers on it. We saw a 7-second landmark before. How about a 6-second one? There you go. Wow, that's quick. Yuan Dynasty now online. You want to know what else is quick? These palace guards. They just got an extra 15% movement speed. Now moving at 1.58 tiles per second. Per second? I guess per second. I think that's a per second metric, isn't it? Yeah, per second. Tiles per second. So they're moving super fast, which is great. So you've got a strong unit that's got lots of extra health, lots of extra attack, and lots of extra speed. Wonderful. What could possibly go wrong? I can tell you what could possibly go wrong. This game for Beastie. You know, it is notorious that we do seem to see a lot of Beastie losses on this channel. And look, I'm not going to say right now, I'm not going to say that it's over before the fat lady sings, because I'll be real with you. I don't hear anything. And at this stage of the game, it's still anyone's ball. I say it's anyone's ball game. I mean, Great Unicorn's in an amazing spot. Let's put it out there right now. But Beastie can still bring it back. I'm confident. He's got the skills to do it. And keep in mind, Great Unicorn, he's great. But he's not the greatest. Not like the GOAT. Not the GOAT that we're looking at right here on our screen. The yellow one. Unit's going to continue to rally through. Tries to get the wall up. Not able to find it. Vil's going to do a bit of a runaround. Doesn't actually have the number of crossbows required to deal with these palace guards. And now the palace guard's going to start to overwhelm. You're going to have to cancel that keep, mate. I don't think that is getting up. Get on out of there, my friend. And indeed, he tries his best to get on out. Streltsy numbers are going to start rising. He's got 10 of them in queue, 11 of them in queue. He needs to rally them towards the front right here. We can see all of these units coming out. First of the Streltsy on the field. And this is what's going to be allowing him to hold this position. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, expect to see, or from the other angle, expect to see the upgrade in for these hand cannoneers. That's going to help counter the Streltsy and the power that they've got, the affordability that they've got. He's actually looking to start sieging down the keep. The keep is not going to be cancelled. There it goes. Now the keep is going to get cancelled. He's going to opt for one at home, a little bit safer. Double gold here in the front. He doesn't really care too much about the gold. Keep in mind, you're playing as the Rus, and with the Rus, you know, you've got 0 vils on gold for pretty much, in fact, the entirety of the game. He's not gathered a single bit of gold. He could not care less about this gold. It is, it's just one of the ways that it is. Palace guards down towards the south. Beastie a little bit slow with the walls on the defense. He's going to try his best to get in before the enemy does, but unfortunately he's missed his timing, and his enemy is now behind enemy lines. Towards the north side, men-at-arms are working their way through. We've got plenty of farms that are coming online. If we take a look at the vils on farms at the moment, 53 vils on food. And now towards the back of the base, we do see that high armory that's going to be spotting out all of these Beastie coming, these Beastie units. Let's go with that. Meanwhile, towards the front, the push is happening. We got ourselves a really good game here, honestly. This is a really fun game. Beastie's doing very well to hold on in this game. I'd love to see some more knights. Knights are always difficult to deal with. But maybe it's a bit too late. Farm's going to start coming up for Beastie towards that west side. We're right on board with him now. The cleanup is happening. Streltsy doing a good job. Now, if he can stabilize in this point, he can definitely do some work. I think the key here is going to be getting up to about 30 Streltsy or so. Once you're at that number, that's a critical mass where you can attack move your Streltsy and very easily take out 5-6 palace guards at the same time. It can be difficult to justify diving in on the enemy when they've got that many Streltsy. You need to start thinking outside the box. You need to start thinking, okay, now I've got to move into horsemen. Now I've got to move into my own hand cannoneers to try and deal with this. And at the moment, there's only 6 hand cannoneers on the field, but it's going to be about whether he can control the narrative here, Beastie, on the defense. Because if he allows his opponent to get in behind these lines and really cause a lot of pain, it can be difficult to deal with. So getting these walls up along the edges are going to be really important. I'd be advocating for even more walls along here, deleting this mining camp, just walling off the entire thing. You really want to try and avoid Beastie getting through, or rather you want to try and avoid the Chinese getting through. Now Streltsy, these guys are going to get caught out. There's not enough. There's not enough. Beastie in trouble. If he loses, this is a huge amount of units that he's losing here. And now finally waking up to it and saying, oh gosh, that is not good. Streltsy all going to go down. Beastie going to go down. Tapped out. Good night, sweet prince. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game coming out there from the Unicorn. Managing to go into a 3TC Jukunu all-in strategy against one of the best in the business and takes the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, go check him out. Links are in the description. And of course, we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.